Good morning. I am honored to be your keynote speaker in commemoration of one of the most important dates in our country, speaking to the employees of the largest consumer goods company in the world. I'd like to start off by assuring you that I am a normal person. I never got the best grades in high school or university, never head girl or hockey team captain. I come from a typical middle class black family. I hope this assures you that you can do, as a normal person, you can do extraordinary things. My address to you this morning is titled The Dots Always Connect, inspired by my favorite technologist and entrepreneur, the late Steve Jobs. I'd like to share three key lessons that I've applied in my journey that have paid off. The first lesson is influence. Growing up in Isikawini, a township in the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal, my mum was a nurse at Gwelezane Hospital. My dad was an HR manager at Alisaf, what is now known as South 32. They both had a full-time job, but they also had what we call today a side hustle. My mom baked wedding cakes, and my dad was a videographer for people's weddings, funerals, and birthday celebrations. So, me and my brother grew up having to help our parents after school and on weekends with their side hustles. So, from a very young age, we were victims of child labor and perhaps even slavery because we never got paid for it. I used to help my dad carry his tripod and camera equipment for funerals and help my mom bake and ice wedding cakes. So my entrepreneurial spirit was influenced by my parents. In 1994, my dad bought my first second-hand desktop from his workplace. We were the first kids in our street to get a computer. Then we got Windows 95, and this opened me up to a whole new world of computer programs like Solitaire and WordPad. Me and my brother began to type and print CVs for neighbors at a fee, of course. We soon later gathered enough money to buy a greetings card software, so we expanded our digital services to creating personalized color printed greeting cards. My mom would collect orders from us from hospital staff, and after homework and weekends, my brother and I would make the cards and send them back to the customer via my mom. This first computer my dad got me explains my love for technology and how it swayed me to pursue a degree in information systems. All of us are influencing someone, whether it be your children, colleagues, and friends. So influence wisely. The world needs you. The second lesson I want to share is about sponsorship. I began my career at Accenture in 2010. I worked so hard in my junior years. With whatever I was given to do, I always did it to the best of my ability. I became one of their top performers, and that led me to one of the most sponsored youth in the organization. They afforded me so many opportunities of travel, great client projects, and learning experiences. However, I was not satisfied with my contribution to the world and I wanted to do more. I wanted to solve something bigger than me. The youth unemployment issue was becoming a growing problem in the country and still is. And when learning more about it, I learned that it affected mostly young girls. And this is how Born to Succeed Women was started. We built an organization that advocated for the economic emancipation of young women. Between 2013 and 2015, we helped over 120 girls obtain employment. Born to Succeed was primarily sponsored by Accenture. The lesson here is that when you work really hard, your leaders will try their utmost best to help you in your endeavors, and sometimes even those endeavors that lie outside your 9 to 5. My sponsors at Accenture became my financial and in kind sponsors for Born to Succeed Women, both through the company and personally. After 3 years of Born to Succeed Women, I became a Mandela Washington Fellow, UNESCO Tag Fellow, Mzansi 100 Aspiring and Inspiring Leaders, and Atlantic Dialogue Emerging Leaders. I was then selected to work within the Accenture Development Partnerships, where I worked with the governments of Tanzania, World Bank, and United Nations. What I know for sure is that hard work pays off. Be diligent in every task you are given, even the ones you don't like. Be the horse that everyone wants to bank on. Much of my success is attributed to sponsorships from both men and women. The third lesson is your time. Time is your most precious commodity. I'm still working with God on how to extend the number of hours we have in a day, but for now, let's work on the 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that Beyonce has the same number of hours in a day as you? Doesn't that make you wonder about how are you spending your time? How much time do you spend sleeping? An average person in Japan only sleeps for 6 hours a day. A smartphone owner spends an average 4 hours a day texting, talking, surfing, or on social media. Many South Africans spend at least 2.5 hours watching TV. Do you really need to sleep for 8 hours every night? Do you really need to spend 17% of your time on your smartphone? Ask yourself what value you get from spending 1/10 of your day watching TV. What I'm not saying is don't do these things, but I'm making a point about how little time we have in a day and how we're spending it. If the dream is to make an impact, then I ask we need to do more of what's really important. Most leaders I speak to today spend most of their leisure time in perfecting their art, spending time with family, and for leisure, they would much rather read a book, go for a jog, or pick up a new hobby. Your leisure time, use it wisely. Spend it with the right people. I spend a third of my time with people that are 5 to 10 years ahead of me, that being my mentors, parents, or company directors. I spend my second third with my peers, be it colleagues, other young leaders I've met on the programs I've been on, or my friends. My last third, I spend with people that have less than me or younger than me. Ladies and gentlemen, think about the time that you spend and how you use it. It's your most precious and expensive commodity. So remember these three lessons: influence right, work hard so you get sponsored, and lastly, use your time wisely. What I want to leave you with today is that you don't have to leave your job to make an impact. In fact, you're probably better placed to make an impact within a corporate because you can scale much faster. We desperately need more entrepreneurs. South Africa alone has a population of 58 million people, and 30 million of them are considered lower class, that are the most underserved people in our country. These individuals have limited access to drinking water, food, shelter, and clothing. Imagine if you could build a profitable business within a business to serve this demographic. The single most important change would be to actually eradicate poverty. Serving marginalized people doesn't have to be charity. If that were the case, ShopRite, Capitec, or PEP wouldn't be a JSE top listed companies. A social business can be complementary to a traditional profit making business. The wonderful promise of a social business is that it can redefine and broaden our present economic framework to create the world that we all want. We don't want to see our economic framework continue to pull us backwards. We need a new architecture of economics that will free us once and for all from all these crises that surround us today. Now is the time for bold and creative action. The time is right now. The technology is there. The climate is in our favor. Please take action and build a better tomorrow for the future generations. I dare you to only try. My name is Sandiso Sibisi. Thank you.